All right, we are back with our BBB podcast at WUFO. This is our third episode. I am joined by Lori Asher.
How are you?
One of our star investigators over at the BBB of upstate New York. I am Kat Schmieder. I'm the communications director. Lori is a great resource because as we have mentioned in past episodes, she has her hands in it day in and day out. Can you just remind everybody what you do and what Scam Tracker is? Because I think that's really important for the public to know what our Scam Tracker is and how they can use it.
Certainly. You can always go to bbb.org. If you think you've been scammed, you want to complain about a business, you want to look up a business. But what I do is I'm an investigator. So what my first duty of the day is to check that Scam Tracker, the reports that the public will get online on our website, and they'll click on Scam Tracker. It's real easy to find. You click on it, and you can report a scam. So each and every day, I'm looking at those scam reports, and I can obviously help you. I'll reach back out to you personally with an email, giving you maybe some other websites that you can use, the Attorney General's office or the Federal Trade Commission, online, scam reports, or just file a complaint with us. It might not be a scam, but it could be a complaint, so we can help you out. And we can reach out to some of these places that maybe you've been scammed by.
Yeah, absolutely. And, sometimes we see some really interesting scams that come through that catch your attention. And I know we have some other things to talk about today. But one thing that you came to tell me about recently was a romance scam. Now, we do hear about these at BBB. They're in the top 3 scams impacting older adults, so people older than 65. They may target people who they think have more money. Maybe they've retired, maybe they've been widowed. But the one that you came to me with is kind of shocking, and I think we should share it with people so they know what to look out for and how to protect themselves. So can you recap that one for our listeners here?
Absolutely. And it's a story, but it's a true story. And you might think it's false and that I'm, making a play here, but it's not. It's true. I had a woman post something on Scam Tracker, and the title of the scam was Kevin Costner. So she was on an app, and this person reached out to her claiming that he was Kevin Costner, the actor.
Now, was it a dating app or a social media
it was called Telegram.
Okay.
It was called Telegram. And so she was talking with this gentleman claiming to be Kevin Costner. And so when I was talking to her, I wanted to bring up some of the red flags that people should look out for.
So, spoiler alert.
Right, spoiler alert.
It wasn't actually Kevin Costner.
It was not Kevin Costner.
Okay, yeah, good to remind everybody.
Okay. And this happened on the other side of the state, a place, outside of, Western New York area, but it's in our, district of, BBB area. And when I was talking to her, I asked her, did you have a phone conversation with him? Did you hear the voice? No, I did not. We only texted. So right there, and I wanted her to know, think about that. You should be talking to somebody. Did you Zoom? Did you get on, anything where you could see his face? She did not. That's another red flag. If they're luring and just talking to you through text, beware. Okay. And she said it started off with just friendly conversation. And then she said it got to be a little bit more romantic and more intimate online through that app. And another thing, using these apps, be careful using an app. Okay, you don't know where the app's made, and of course they're trying to hide themselves.
Right,
through the
it's
app.
difficult to trace.
It is very
these
difficult to trace.
Communications.
Yes, so you have to be careful.
If somebody asks you to move over to one of these apps to communicate, that's another red flag.
And that's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to put you on an app for you to download, right? So you're downloading this onto your phone, and that's scary. Okay, you don't know what you're downloading either. Sometimes it could be something that could cause a lot of issues, of course, with your phone and everything else. So she was carrying on for like months and months with the so-called Kevin Costner.
So months at a time.
It was months at a time.
That's awful.
It was terrible. And she was hooked. Like, she literally was hooked. And she was telling me on the phone that, Lori, you would have believed it too. Like, that's what she was telling me. So push comes to shove. he asked her to an event, which would be out on the West Coast. And she goes, I looked up the event, and the event was taking place. It was a Kevin Costner event, and it was during that time period. There was all these celebrities going to an event hosted by Kevin Costner, and he asked her to come.
She thought she was going to be his plus one or a guest.
Absolutely. So she goes out, buys all this new clothes. She's ready to go to California, and he says he's going to provide a private jet.
Of course.
Of course, right? So she thought it was real because she knew the event was taking place. She looked it up, and the day comes, and she heads to the airport, waiting for the private jet to come. This is no lie. She's waiting and waiting, and she gets a text, and it was from his management company. The manager had texted her and said, we're having a little trouble with the pilot. Stay put. We're having a little bit of a delay. So she still thought everything was cool and everything's going to go forward. And then maybe a half an hour later, they text her again, and they say, we found a new pilot, but we need $700.
There it is.
There it is.
They're asking for money.
They're asking for money. So we need $700 to pay this new pilot. And thank goodness she was smart enough to realize at that point it was a scam. But it lasted a long time.
But this just goes to show you the lengths that these scammers will go to rip people off. Because it's my understanding she didn't send any money before that point. Before this
She
point,
did not.
right?
She did not.
So this person is willing to invest months into gaining your trust.
And that's exactly what happened. You're right. It was a friendship, and then it got a little bit more romantic.
Yes,
So
it
she
evolves
was-
over time.
Yes.
And then once they've got you hooked, we need some money. Where's $700?
And I feel bad because she went to the airport. She was sitting there waiting for this private jet. She looked up the event, and the event was taking place.
Right. And, you might think this sounds absurd.
Right.
But this is the second time this has happened
Yeah,
that
you had
I
one.
know of.
Yeah, you had
yes. About probably a year or two ago, I had a reporter from the Capital Region area reach out to me to talk about romance scams. And I said, sure, because, we listed some of the red flags that you can look out for. If someone refuses to meet you face to face, if they start asking for money, etc. So I said, sure. Well, after I'd agreed to the interview, he had shared that a woman in his area also fell victim to a romance scam, but this one also involved Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner's he's out there with everybody.
I know. What did we say? If it sounds too good to be true,
Right.
it is. So this woman was a fan of the show Yellowstone, which admittedly I've never seen, but Kevin Costner's in it. He's the star, right?
Yes.
So she was in one of those Facebook fan pages or fan groups, which I know they have for tons of different shows, celebrities, musical artists, and somebody messaged her, said, I saw you in this fan group, and they posed as Kevin Costner.
Sure.
Unfortunately, this individual did end up sending money. He had, made her think that he was in love with her.
Yeah.
And she had shared that she was at a vulnerable time in her life, which credit to her for sharing all of this because
Absolutely.
Because I know that it takes guts to get out there and share your story publicly, but this is what helps protect other people by sharing your experiences. But anyhow, he had asked for money to fly her out to LA. They were going to live together. And he just needed $30,000 to help furnish their mansion.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she sent it. Next, he says he's going to give her a part on the show Yellowstone, which for her, huge fan, probably dream come true.
Dream come true.
Then asks for another $40,000, $50,000, and she sends it. And once you send that money, you're not going to get it back.
No.
So then, eventually she realizes that she's been scammed, and, it's devastating.
It is, and these are real people, and they're real scams. And when I know you didn't talk to that specific woman, but talking to this woman, her confidence level was shot. And,
Of course.
And then, and she thanked the BBB because we reached out to her and, it gave her some pointers of what not to do. And
well, people could be feeling vulnerable for
Yes.
so many different reasons. You have someone who could have lost a spouse.
Right.
Who could be going through a divorce or just a really difficult time in their lives. And that's how ruthless these scammers are. The people who are on the other side of the computer, they don't care that they're destroying your livelihood. They're playing with your emotions.
They see the dollar signs.
Yes, they have one end goal in mind. And we've been hearing of a lot of these romance scams tied to investment scams or investment opportunities. So, I mean, if you're in the world of, using dating apps, dating websites, or social media, that's okay, but you need to be careful. If somebody refuses to meet you face to face, that is a huge red flag. And with a lot of these scams, and, maybe you can attest to this as well, but there's always some sort of elaborate story or hardship or excuse as to why they can't meet you in person.
Yes.
And then from there, once they've gained your trust, they start finding ways to ask for money. They
My car broke down.
Yes.
I can't see you because the car broke down. Or my mother's in the hospital. Or, something. They're going to give you that story that you just mentioned.
Right. The sob story.
The sob story. And so they're going to lure you that way. Okay. I need money to get my car fixed. Then we can meet up.
or we're seeing these scams evolve where the individual is pursuing a relationship either romantically or not. Some of them start, as a friendship made on social media. But then they share this surefire investment opportunity. And they try to hook you in with this opportunity that is going to have huge payouts. Well, right there, stop. You're dealing with a scam.
Yes.
These are just some of the things that I want to remind people to look out for.
Right.
Because, again, it's okay if you are at a point in your life where you're pursuing a relationship online, but know that these people are out there and they just don't care. They will spend months, as we've discussed, trying to gain your trust in order to come away with
there's a lot of stories.
Money, whether it's a few $100s or hundreds of thousands of dollars. And we've heard of both, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, and even if you get on Netflix, I mean, if you see some of these documentaries, they're all geared at that type of thing. People being scammed. Look at all the shows that are now so popular that you could.
Well, that and just the celebrity scams. They've taken on a whole life of their own.
Oh my goodness.
When I spoke with this reporter, he said there were scams involving Reba McEntire. He listed off all of these different celebrities.
Yep.
So again, if it sounds too good to be true, it most likely is. The odds.
You're talking about like celebrities and stuff. How about like we can maybe transition into like AI? Like, being in the Buffalo area, our celebrity, Josh.
Josh Allen. He is.
I mean, we're seeing.
Of course, he's a local celebrity.
Yeah,
but
we're seeing tons of fixed pictures, right?
Yes. As I scroll through social media, I'm going to use the word alarming. Alarming to me lately. The amount of posts I see that are posing as Josh Allen or another NFL superstar, and they're completely manipulated and they aren't real.
Right.
However, they look real enough to trip people up. I saw one that had, an emotional angle to it. It was a story about Josh Allen who, donated this man a truck, which I know, he's certainly been very generous.
Great guy. He would do something like that.
Right.
So you'd believe it.
But this story was so very clearly made up. And I saw people commenting on it like, wow, that's amazing. That's our guy. And I've been seeing more and more of this lately. Just last week I saw one and it looked real of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, I think everybody knows, is familiar with that romance, holding up a sonogram. Like it was a pregnancy announcement. And, I know a lot of people have eyes on them as a celebrity couple.
Right.
But then you look at the comments, people are saying, congratulations. People are believing this.
Yes,
so
what these scammers are, they're so savvy with producing pictures, right? An AI is unbelievable now. And, that's the hot topic right now. That's all you're hearing, this buzzword, AI. And like you're seeing, and I see a lot of it. Are you noticing them more on Facebook?
Oh, and every day.
And I think people need to be aware of what news you're getting from Facebook?
Every single day. And, I would
The AI
say,
photos that are on there?
look at these accounts that are posting these. They might have names like Bill's Mafia fan page group. It's not like the Bills official account.
Right.
So, if you follow the Bills official account, you're going to get real updates about the team and the players. But some of these groups have people posting in them. And just out of curiosity, I clicked on the profile. This was someone who had, really no friends on Facebook, nothing to indicate that they were a Bills fan.
Right.
Profile was created a few months ago. So, these are fraudulent posts.
And our local media is going to be there. If Josh Allen's going to do something big like that and talk with someone locally and they're going to be on that news.
Of
and
course.
I think the Bills are going to reach out to the local news stations. It's going to be a hot story.
Right.
So you have to be aware.
So, like I said, look closely at the accounts you're following, where you're getting the news. Look closely at the images.
What is AI? Like, explain, maybe some of our viewers or listeners, I should say, aren't understanding. What do you mean by an AI picture? Like, what did they do?
Artificial intelligence. They can put a prompt into any of these different AI platforms, ChatGPT, for example. You can essentially have them create an image. You can use the original image of a person and have them doctor it up or create something from scratch.
So scary.
And it's getting very sophisticated.
For sure.
Because a lot of these look real, but there's still imperfections. I mean, if you look really closely, especially with some of the fake websites that we see that have AI-generated images, someone will have 7 fingers or...
Like the face will be longer. It's like distortion.
Right. There's distortion, blurriness, in some of it. But again, you have to look very closely.
Yes, you do.
They're preying on people who, like me, are busy. You're scrolling quickly. A lot of times you aren't taking the time to take that second look, but you have to. But yes, always be careful when you're on social media and know where you're getting this information. But since we were talking about the Bills, one thing that I do want to bring up is tickets. They're kind of hard to get your hands on this season, and they're expensive.
And you have to go to the trusted sites.
Yes.
Right? And I know you want the deal. They can be very expensive. And I know you and I were talking earlier about, I want to go to a game. But what did you say to me?
It's a car payment.
It's awful.
At least, in some cases.
Yeah, and if you're paying for your family, forget about it.
Right.
I mean, it's a vacation, right?
So again, this is where scammers, they're aware of that, and they swoop in ready to take advantage of people who are looking for those tickets.
Right.
They'll, make up a fake website or spoof another one.
Yeah, I mean, you need to go to like a Ticketmaster, right?
Right.
You need to go to these websites that are authorized resellers.
Well,
like SeatGeek, like that's something that's well known, Ticketmaster.
And the best advice I can give is to go directly through the Bills organization themselves. If you start seeing ads on social media
And that's the one thing. Like I try to tell people, avoid the social media marketplace, right?
Right.
I mean, can be tricky.
These people will say, oh, yeah, I have these tickets. Just Venmo me. Or they want you to use a peer-to-peer payment app to send it quickly. So, once that leaves your account, it's gone.
Yeah, and I've seen it on Craigslist, too. Mm-hmm. It's so fake, Instagram. And so, the advice I would give, to the public is
make sure you're buying from a verified source.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it's just, this day and age, the tickets are going to be expensive.
Mm-hmm.
But, that's kind of the reality of it. And, as we get ready to...
There's a demand.
Right. And as we're looking at a new stadium next year, I think I want to talk a little bit about counterfeit products and memorabilia because it's definitely out there. This is the last season at Highmark or the Ralph or whatever you called it based on whatever generation you belong to.
Right.
And I see a lot of commemorative gear out there. Like last season, lots of merchandise. But there are a lot of counterfeit goods out there. And is this something that you've heard of or seen in our scam
I do
tracker?
A lot of review, and I'm because we do get a lot of scams that are from all over the United States. So some will even come filtered towards us, which we have to obviously transfer to another BBB. So even if you think it's not in our area, you can report it to us, and we'll get it to the right place. But I'm seeing tons of, scams from other parts of the United States, too, about memorabilia. But I do want to mention one thing, and what I have seen is when people try to screenshot the ticket.
Oh, okay.
Like, I just want to make sure, don't trust screenshots and PDFs. Like if someone's going to, I'll send you over the screenshot.
Right. Because I don't think, they can even accept screenshots.
No, and they don't anymore. They're smart. They've become smarter.
Right. They're onto it.
They're onto it, right. So, but, this forgery and these fake, memorabilia, and you have to, everybody wants an autograph from Bills and football signed and stuff like that. But there was this, over the summer I was reading this this news outlet, and it talked about this memorabilia, this store. It was in Indiana. If I could find this sports memorabilia dealer.
Was it something Man Cave? Or,
oh my gosh. It was called Mr. Man Cave. And this sports.
So you think you're going to get something to deck out your man cave, maybe some signed jerseys or footballs, whatever it may be.
He was counterfeiting everything. And it was over $350 million in gear that was signed, and it was all fake. And this was this past summer in Indiana. It was this forgery. It was on the black market. So these dealers and these people that have it as a hobby, they were scammed. And they did this long investigation, and the guy that owned this memorabilia outlet, he was like, I was addicted to it. He got addicted to because the money was rolling in, but how he could, just create these fake
and rip people off.
And just rip people. He was making so much money.
That's awful.
He said it was an addiction.
But it just goes to show you that stuff is out there.
It is, and it was a huge, he claimed, and then the police raided his whole warehouse, and it had $500 to $700 million worth of fake merchandise.
So, let's say you want to get your hands on some real merch like that. Let's say it's an autographed jersey. What are some things that you can ask for, like a certificate of authenticity?
Yes.
Or
check that certificate. That includes a serial number and the matching. It has to match, and you have to have. You got to trust your instincts on things too. Mm-hmm. Where are you? Is it a reputable source?
Right. Know where you're buying it from, too. I mean, now that we're on the topic, it reminds me a year or two ago when they started construction on the new stadium.
Okay. Yes.
There were people selling dirt from the construction site online. And somebody asked me, well, how can you tell if this dirt is real? Well, you can't. I mean, what's to stop somebody from going out to their backyard and scooping some dirt in a jar and saying, here you go?
Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think that kind of speaks to, Bills fans and how passionate we all are.
Right. And that's when you have to take a look at yourself and say,
right, people will buy this stuff. But then again, scammers know that, and they're ready to take advantage. Right. So the last thing that I want to mention for today's podcast, and thank you for sharing all of that information.
Yeah, there's a lot, we all have to do our homework.
Yes, yes, absolutely. It's the, we're reaching the end of the month, getting ready for holiday shopping.
It all begins.
I know. You go to the stores now, and this is so frustrating, but you already see Christmas stuff out.
It's there.
I'm just trying to get through Halloween. A couple weeks ago still felt like summer, but
right.
Anyway, I don't want to get off on a whole tangent about that. But people need to be prepared to start their holiday shopping, because this is a huge time for scammers to try to take advantage of people, especially with online shopping scams. And as we get closer to Black Friday, or I think most of it is online now, right? Black Friday, Cyber Monday.
Yes.
You want to look out for those deals or so-called deals that you think you're shopping for.
Mm-hmm. Today only.
Right.
Hurry up.
Right.
Get it.
So just make sure that as you start your holiday shopping, you're, on legitimate websites. And stay away from those imposter sites, like Amazon is the example I always use.
Yeah. And in some of these sites, and you have to look, go to the bottom, go look and see if there's a location. Is there an address? All right, look for that. And a lot of times there isn't. Is there a phone number for this? So before you get so excited, I found what, my father wants, or someone that you love, and you found the perfect gift on this website, be sure to look and see if it's real.
Right.
You have to look and see, is there an address? Where is this website coming from?
Right. And every year, scammers know what the hot ticket items are.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hot toy is this year.
We've got to do our research. We're in
I know. We need to.
We're on it now.
Right. But this is stuff that we'll share in, our upcoming recordings.
Yes,
we'll
coming.
come with lots of information and tips. But yeah, with those high ticket items, especially like technology, cell phones, computers, scammers know that people are looking for it.
Sure.
And there's typically a high dollar amount attached to it. So, they're more likely to make money off of a fake advertisement, selling cell phones. So, you just have to look at the source.
Right.
Know where you're shopping and look out for those imposter websites. Like I said, if it's Amazon, make sure it's spelled correctly, that the O is an O and not a 0.
That's perfect. Yes, that is so slick.
And that HTTPS
Bingo.
and the little lock symbol.
Right.
So we'll definitely have some more information to share on online shopping scams.
Our Christmas
Yes.
scam reports coming.
And then, just a reminder, if you're shopping for gift cards, make sure that, the packaging doesn't look off, because we've heard of instances in recent years where, the gift card that you pull off the store rack has actually been tampered with, and a scammer could put a barcode over it that loads funds to their account when it's scanned at the store.
Right.
So those are some things to look out for. Plus, the shipping notices. I think that's something worth mentioning really anytime, regardless of whether or not we're approaching the holidays. I don't know about you, but I always get these fake text messages claiming to be from USPS.
Oh, the Postal Service. Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
Right. They say that there's an issue with a payment, or they need some sort of information.
Right. And the government agency is not going to text you. Your local post office is not going to send you that text.
And if you're ever unsure, go directly to the source.
Right.
Find out where you ordered that item. Go to that company. Find out who actually shipped it, and go from there. But call the legitimate phone number instead of engaging with, a bogus link that's sent to you, or a phone number and a text message.
And you're going to get that tracking number right away. And a lot of times it's a fake tracking number. So once you notice that it's fake, you have to put a stop to it. Maybe you can stop the payment right away as soon as you find out, you purchased. You got the email with the tracking number.
Right.
And it could be a fake tracking number. So you have to be careful and make sure it's legit.
Right. And look at the phone number, too. I think a lot of these communications or text messages come from a number that is from overseas.
Overseas, yeah.
Or I've been getting them from email addresses.
Okay.
So it'll be a text message from something like billsmith@yahoo.com.
Right.
Well, that's obviously not the post office.
No.
And I know it's easy to lose track because, especially around the holidays or anytime, I'm guilty of doing a ton of online shopping. Yes. So it's easy to lose track of what you ordered, what might be out there. But, just a reminder that these fake text messages are out there. And, that's kind of a different topic on its own, but I just keep getting these.
Yeah. The Easy Pass is coming up now again, too.
I know. And we saw a lot of those a couple months ago. But I just received another one claiming to be from the DMV.
Oh, gosh.
And, again, we've talked about this, but it had that urgent language in it. And tried to create a sense of urgency. If I didn't pay this past due ticket which, mind you, I never received one.
Yes, right.
Right. I would remember that.
Yes.
That my license would be suspended immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's going to scare people,
Yeah.
thinking, oh my gosh, I want to get this taken care of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to serve you papers. Someone's going to come to your door.
Right.
You know, and they, like you said, they're going to do the scare tactic. They're going to do anything they can to make a quick decision.
Right, right. And, you mentioned the Easy Pass scams or the one else is like New York tolls by mail. I think that's another good reminder as we're heading into the holiday season.
Traveling for Thanksgiving, yeah.
Because people are traveling. You're going to see family for the holidays. I know, myself and my husband, we're always driving.
Yeah. We're driving too, yeah.
Around the holidays. And scammers prey on that. So, what do some of these Easy Pass messages look like that you've seen reported?
Well, they're
to
just, and they want that, and everybody can recognize easy. So, and you have to look at the number at the top, like you mentioned. If it has like that 2-digit first, obviously we all know our area code, any area code has, 3 numbers in it. This will have a funny number. It'll have 2 numbers and then it'll go to 3, and it has this long number that it's not recognizable. It's probably overseas. They're going to take that easy, and put it in this fake email, like you were mentioning. It has a funny last part of it. They might put New York and at the NY in it, but it's going to have funny numbers attached to it in the email or the website. They're not going to have your phone number. When you get a ticket.
Right.
They're not going to get that. No.
Yep.
So don't click on anything, and that's the other thing.
Don't click. Don't share your personal information. Right. Well, I'm getting the signal that we need to wrap up. I know.
This was fun.
We could keep going on all sorts of topics. But we're looking forward to the next one. We'll have lots more information
special, right?
on the holiday special on getting you ready for the holidays. But again, if you need anything from us, head to bbb.org or call us at 800-828-5000. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Lori.
Thanks.
Looking forward to next time.
For sure.